to where we began. Hello and welcome back to Auckland. There's my bike. There's the old Sky Tower, there's my hostel, and I'm back here parked. It's the end of the journey. Oh well. Yes, all good things must come to an end, unfortunately, and this part of the trip has. So it is now time to ship across to Australia, which sounds very complicated, but it is super easy. You basically find out whether you need to have a car now or not, and then find a freight forwarder. Once you've found a freight forwarder, they pretty much take care of everything for you. So the company that I used in the UK was called Moto Freight. That got it down here. And then they've passed me on to this other company in New Zealand, Rocket Freight. So they're dealing with it on this side at this on this occasion. So Rocket Freight's going to sort out all the paperwork and whatnot and getting it over to Melbourne. So they should have booked a slot with an airline somewhere. So I've got to get it wrapped up, cleaned up, repacked, sorted. Then it's going to get wrapped, put on a pallet onto an airline, flown across to Melbourne, and then pick it up the other end, hopefully in about a week's time. So there's a few bits that I need to do to get the bike ready, and phase 1 is already underway, which is arrive in Auckland. Done that. Empty out the food bag as best as possible. It's pretty much empty now. The fuel for the cooker, I put that in there and used all the petrol. I've emptied out the water can because we don't need any more water. Got to take all of this inside and repack. So cooking utensils and stuff and whatnot go into the panniers. Clothes and electricals, motorbike paperwork comes out with the panniers into the bag, and this is what I'm going to take with me on the plane. Tent, that comes with me on the plane as well. So yeah, basically phase 1 tonight is arrive here and repack. So it's simple enough. So, everything's now off the bike, it's all here. Time to open up the panniers and whatnot and shuffle everything around to pack it up for where it's supposed to be, ready for shipping in 2 days' time. It's 25th today, 27th is when it gets handed over and ready for shipping. So that's done, leaving that to dry. Now pull all the stuff out of these, pile up stuff to that on the floor, and everything else here has to disappear into these. That's basically what's got to happen. Done. Everything that needs to be in these two things is now in them. Just got that white bag to do, and that's pretty much phase 1 done. So there we go. So those travel together. That's going to be with the bike. Boots are going to be with the bike. Helmet. And these two are travelling with the bike. All of this stuff travels with me in this bag, and then that's the carnet, so that gets dropped off tomorrow as part of phase 2. and everything else, the big bulky stuff, just going to throw that all into a locker out the back, so that's safe for the next couple of days. But that is phase 1 done. So phase 2 tomorrow, sort out the paperwork and clean everything. Alright, morning. It's day 2 of Operation Pack Down, or phase 2, which involves cleaning to start with. And I'm doing in situ cleaning first, so helmet, the water bottle thing, panniers, boots. And then once that's done, I can jump on the motorbike and start doing some external stuff, like dropping off paperwork to the freight forwarders, and then clean the actual motorbike itself, which is going to take a while because it's got a lot of dirt on it. So yes, it's going to be a busy day, a lot of cleaning. So let's get cleaning. If it was any other country, I wouldn't really have to be too concerned, but Australia and New Zealand are quite big on their infection control, so you have to make sure everything's sort of exceptionally, or above averagely clean at least. So that's 2 items down, 3 to go. Well, that was the easy bit done. Now for the main event. There's a lot of dirt. Got to get all these bugs off. No bugs allowed, no dirt. Yeah, it's a bit dirty around here. There's my nice new heavy duty chain, which actually fits and works properly. So yeah, all this dirt's got to go. I'm going to be a while cleaning this. It needs to be done, otherwise it's not going to pass inspection, and yeah, I'm going to get charged for a second or a third lot of inspection fees, and it's not cheap. It's going to cost a lot just to do one, so doing 2 or 3 and then getting it re-cleaned as well, that's not going to be cheap either. So yeah, the more effort I can put in now, the more money I save later on, pretty much. First port of call this morning is to Rocket Freight officers and drop the car now off so that they can process it and make any payments and sort out any other paperwork or anything. That's that all done. New Zealand side of things paid off. Not cheap, but that's air freighting. For the most part it looks clean, there's little bits here and there. The bulk of it is done and I'm happy with that. Okay, so it's just a case now. Going over with a little fine tooth comb, just catch the last of it. I think that'll have to do. It's a lot cleaner than it was. It doesn't look too bad on the camera. Doesn't look too bad from here. Oh well, I've tried my best. It's either going to pass or it's going to fail. So now that's done, one last thing to do is get the tent out, take that out, dry it out and give that a clean, because that's also subject to immigration cleanliness stuff and you have to declare it on your immigration form when you enter both New Zealand and Australia. Done. All cleaned up. Phase 2 is complete. Tomorrow, phase 3. Get this over to the place it's going to get packed up, and yeah, that's pretty much it, apart from de-wildify myself and wash my clothes. Well, and then get to the airport and fly to Melbourne. Put everything back on the bike, so this is how it's going to get shipped. 2 panniers. The water thing, I'm hoping they're going to take my boots and the helmet as well. It saves me carrying that on the plane. There it is. Bye bye bike. I don't know what happened with the camera there. I must have turned it off when I thought I turned it on, but yeah, that's Botany Honda. It's now in their care. It's either going to pass or it's going to fail or whatever. So they're going to pack it up and it ships out on the 6th apparently. So yeah, that's it. I'm now without transport and I've now got to get back to Auckland and then catch my plane to Melbourne, which is tomorrow. So we're here at Honda, train station's over there, and then Auckland is all the way up there. We made it! Only took an hour and 20 minutes. It's only $5 for a train up to central Auckland. So I've saved myself some money, get the train into town, sort some bits and bobs out, have dinner, go to bed. Wake up tomorrow, 28th of Feb, fly over and sit in Melbourne for a bit, wait for my bike to fly over on the 6th. If I'm lucky, it might get through customs on the 7th or the 8th. If not, I've then got to stay in Melbourne for the whole of the weekend as well. So I'll spend about a week and a half, nearly 2 weeks just in Melbourne. So I could potentially lose a lot of time if customs takes their time. it's up to them. There's nothing really much I can do. Got about 10 minutes until my train arrives from that direction, and then into town. So that's checked out the hostel. Time to catch the Sky bus to the airport, sit around there for a few hours and then catch a plane to Melbourne. There we go, made it. I've got in, all my gears got in a lot easier than it was in New Zealand, which I was told about. It's just a waiting game now. I've got to wait a week or so for the bike to come through. So yeah, if you're wondering where I am, this is Albert Park in Melbourne. And that road is the F1 track, which will be getting used in about 2 weeks' time. And if my bike gets delayed long enough, I'll probably still be in Melbourne when it's on. So there's the city, and that's the lake in the middle of Albert Park. So the F1 circuit runs right round the outside. And this is what the southern endish. So the pit straight will be somewhere over there, and the far end up that way, and then it's like the back straight coming down. So that's the Spirit of Tasmania, as you can see there, and it sails to Tasmania sort of once, twice, maybe 3 times a week. And I was planning to go on that, but 2 months is not very long, and Australia is a huge country, so I don't really have time to be doing that anymore. Plus the fact that I've lost a week or so of my trip just waiting for the bike to arrive, because Honda insisted that it would take a week to prep the bike. And then lo and behold, 2 days later, after I've dropped it off, the track is showing that it's at the airport. So I've been sat around for ages waiting for it to come over, and the bike's been sat around waiting for ages to come over. So if it all happened a bit sooner, I could have been on my bike by now, or picking it up at least. Yeah, Australia is big enough that even with your maximum 3 months, you'd struggle to get to see everything. But yeah, still another day or so until the bike arrives. Getting bored now. The situation is thus. The bike flew as per the schedule on the 6th, flew into Melbourne straight off the plane, through customs, so I assume the carnet's been stamped, and now it's in the holding warehouse somewhere in Melbourne. I don't know exactly where because the tracker won't update. And yeah, now it's just waiting for its quarantine inspection, which is where the problems develop. Now the problem is, quarantine are apparently running very, very slow, and they've also got quite a backlog as well to deal with. On top of that, it's the weekend, but not just any weekend, it's Labour Day weekend, aka bank holiday weekend, so they're not going to be working Monday either. On top of that, it's F1 weekend next week, and as much as they ship a load of stuff ahead of time in containers, they also fly a lot of stuff in sort of like critical last minute parts and bits and bobs via airplane, and I'm willing to bet that they pay a premium to get everything put through as fast as possible and jump the queue ahead of everything else. They also contribute a lot more to the local economy than I do, so yeah, my bike is going to get bumped down the list ever more. Possibly shipping into Adelaide would have been better, because I'm going to guess that they're not as busy as here in Melbourne. And it also means that I won't have to sort of go up there and then backtrack across to Sydney as well. So I could have saved myself a lot of mileage and time and been on the road already. But oh well, there we go, that's what's happening. Lots of sitting around, lots of waiting. What's more annoying is if they take as long as what they seemingly did in New Zealand, which was literally just undo the 2 screws at one end of the crate, lift up the flap, go, yep, it's clean, send it. Like literally 2 minutes work. That's cost me 2 weeks waiting. Melbourne Airport Business Park. So at the far end should be Air Menzies, which is where my bike is. But yeah, finally they've inspected it this morning on 13th of March, so 2 weeks I've been here now, and the bike's been here 1 week, but it's finally been released. I've paid the fees for receiving it, so check my bike over, uncrate it. Once it's running, hook everything back up onto it, fill it up with fuel, run back to the hostel and pay for the parking at the hostel. There's Menzies. Just got to find the visitor entrance. It says office is over there, so I'll give that a go and see what they say. So there it is. They've completely disassembled the front end, which is going to be problematic. I don't know how to put that back on. Looks like I need to undo that and return it around somehow. It's all good. Okay, thanks. Alright, yes, there's something's been taken off the side and bolts in there as well. So it looks like I need to turn that up the other way. I need to straighten up my mirrors and everything. There's keys in it, so that's okay at least. Need to undo those. Oh dear. This is more work than I was expecting it to be. The engine's going to be the least of my problems. It's nearly out the box at least. Just got to take that off. Right, so what I've got to do, undo that screw. There should be a second one somewhere, but for the life of me I haven't been able to find it just yet. These then go into that. I've got to clip those onto that, bolt it onto there, which is what those 2 holes are for. Bolt this the right way up. Yeah, they haven't taken anything off of the what's it, they've literally just undone those 2 bolts. That's the frame off and everything exposed. I think what I might do next is straighten these up a little bit. I won't put them in their final position. So that's reassembly done as best I can. I've tightened these up for the moment so I can get it off of this frame, and then once it's off I'll have to check the clearance on these and readjust this handlebar. Cannot find that second screw anywhere, and I want to see if I can get a forklifter to just lift this up and I pull out the pallet underneath. Otherwise I'm going to have a lot of trouble. There we go, it's on the floor. If I shake it enough I can hear some fuel in there. So hopefully it just goes straight away. We're in neutral. There we go. Much easier. I'm gonna get the carnet, reattach everything, and then we're good to go, I think. Just had a bit more of a thorough look, and then down there it is. So that's quite open. I might be able to get that in. There we go. Everything's back up, nice and tight. All reassembled fully. The only thing left to do, get it off this frame, which I'm going to need help with because there's not enough grip on the back tyre to push itself off. So that's the majorish challenge at the moment. And then double check the clearance on these with this. Inadvertently set the handlebars perfect. I haven't made any adjustments, that's just how it was. And the other one's the same the other side, so now it's just a case, go over these, double check that they're tight enough. There we go. Everything's sorted, everything's on. This is how it's going to be. Just to get back to the hostel, I'm going to have to rearrange the panniers and take the clothes and whatnot inside. Just try and get this air flushed through the system as quickly as possible. I need to set my clock again. Okay, thanks. She weren't half thirsty, 25 litres to fill it up. So yeah, take all this stuff on the back. take it upstairs to my room, sort it all out. Successfully shipped from New Zealand to Australia. It's getting on a bit late now. It's 8 o'clock and I still need to have dinner. So by the time I've done that and then sorted out the cameras, ready for tomorrow, it's going to be quite late. So I might not have time to repack these tonight. I might have to do it tomorrow afternoon or something. But that's how you ship a motorbike by air freight. Sea freight's not much different, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, that's it. Nice and easy. And you're in the country. So until next time, see you then.